Some producers like to use soft crypto on a master and call it a day. Truth is that not everyone needs to be mastering engineer or even attempt to master own tracks. Great mix quality is usually enough to push your tracks further to artists or mastering engineers to work on them. And today's video will be all about preparing your tracks to master either for your own or engineer's attempt. Although in our previous video I showed you some detailed mastering adjustments, usually mastering is all about general and broad processing. Long story short, the better your mix, the cleaner your master will be. To be 100% sure about your mix quality, keep an eye on those fundamental things. No tuning or timing issues. Good balance between channels. No unwanted low end by using local filter. No clicks, pops, or any unwanted noise from your recordings or plugins. And no correlation or any stereo field issues. And what's even more crucial, remember that you should enjoy your track without any distractions and be happy with songwriting and arrangement aspects. The most reliable way to elevate your sound is to compare it to the tracks you love. And yes, I totally agree that those tracks are mastered and yours are not. But as I said before, mastering is a broad and wide process. So, comparing your well-balanced mix to mastered song shouldn't give you day and night results, especially if you're about to use our reference plugin. A crucial step is to have level match button turned on. The way we perceive sounds give us an illusion that louder music sounds richer in low end and with more clarity on high end. Once you have loudness and genre similarity check, a good place to start is to follow the guidance of level line. It shows you the exact EQ adjustments to apply to your mix. Keep in mind that you don't need to be scientifically precise when it comes to those boosts and cuts. If the level line is within 3 dB, this shows very similar tonal balance. Other things to check and compare are stereo width and the amount of compression. Reference shows either your own or reference track width. All you gotta do is just visually compare and adjust with panning or a stereo tool. Punch dots are your guide to compare short-term dynamic range. If they move towards to 0 dB line, that frequency range is more compressed than your reference. If they move away, it means you can apply more compression in that range of your track. Since we are still in mixing stage, I would suggest to make those tonal, stereo and compression adjustments on each individual track. That simply gives you more control and flexibility. Now, as you should be happy with tonal balance and stereo spread, it's time to work on that mysterious headroom everyone talks about. Our plugin Levels has built-in mixing presets, which you can apply while checking peak level. Preview the loudest section of your mix and watch how peak meter reacts. If it glows red, grab utility tool and simply turn down the volume a couple of dB. Although it is nothing wrong with quiet mixdown, I found out that if I give myself too much headroom, I lean towards to overprocessing the whole signal. If you stumbled across the same issue, simply just turn it up to be at around -3 to -6 dB. Next thing to consider is loudness, and you need to pay attention to compression. Simple and subtle glue compression won't hurt, yet if you're clamping down too hard on transients, the dynamic range goes out the window. By using Dynamic Range tab in Levels, you can quickly figure out how healthy and punchy your track really is. If oscilloscope will grow red, you most likely sucked the life out of your mix. And you done that by applying too much compression. To prevent that, make sure that your compressors or limiters on each individual tracks aren't working too hard. Even if you relied on stereo width with your reference, it is good to check some things with vector scope from stereo field tab. Overboosting the overall stereo width can lead into phase correlation issues, so keep an eye on correlation meter. Your phase won't always be on +1, but if it moves too far away or even closer to -1, that means introducing some serious issues. We have a whole video dedicated to how to achieve wide mix without causing any phase issues, as well as many more on mixing and mastering. If you enjoyed this tip so far and looking for more, make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell. When it comes to exporting your final mix, there are some things you need to be aware of. Sample rate should remain the same as your original project session. No matter what you heard from some gurus or your professional friends, there are no benefits to increasing sample rate. if your track wasn't recorded or produced in a higher rate. When it comes down to bit rate, it refers to dynamic range of your audio. 24-bit is widely accepted for online distribution. 16-bit is mainly used for CD, but other streaming platforms also use it. If your DAW offers 32 bits, it will give more precise dynamic range, but otherwise 24 is totally fine. Dithering is only necessary if you're reducing bit depth during mastering. As you already controlled peak with gain plugin, you don't want to use normalization. Once you get your mix bounced out, the final step is to take a short break and then listen to it once again. If you have a chance, try using different devices, like different pair of speakers, different headphones, or approach the legendary car test. If there are no major issues or differences between the reference track, that means you did a great job. If you are an experienced producer, learning to master your own tracks is a part of a process. If you have a budget and consistent release schedule, hiring a pro to master your track will give reliably great results. You can also try different auto mastering sites if you're tight on a budget and have no time. The point here is to always have great quality mixes that the mastering can only improve the overall sound.